What's going on, golf addicts? DB and Pat coming at you for the 2023 Amex from PGA West, talking DraftKings picks. We're going to go through every range. We're going to give our GPP plays, tournament plays, cash game plays, where we think the chalk's going to go, guys we're avoiding. And then at the end, I've got a new fun segment. We're just going to talk about a couple things in golf, one of which has really triggered me. And speaking of triggered, Pat, we've had some camera technical difficulties. We've had to resort back to Old Faithful camera for another week. I told you guys 2 weeks ago, we're going to be working on this. It's going to be gradual. There's going to be bumps in the road. We'll get it figured out.
I don't know. I'm okay. I'm a little flustered. I mean, we had this great camera set up and it's fantastic, and it just doesn't work. Technology sucks. And now I don't have the light right. My face looks like it's all freaking like I'm under a damn, what's that light they did? Yeah, like I'm getting interrogated, but I'm probably going to get interrogated all night by you because of the way I feel right now.
It's you look like an angel. You look like your radiance is unbelievable.
I feel like I'm like literally in the doorbell. Like, you know those doorbell cameras where you're like,
yes.
That's what I feel like right now.
The doorbell rang and I'm checking it and Pat's like, hello?
It's like the doorbell, or like when you look out that little peephole in a hotel room and there's somebody like, that's what I look like.
Gosh dang it. And honestly, the popping is getting on my nerves more so than anything. I mean, can anybody just figure out if there's a good browser, if God made a good browser yet? If anybody's been inspired to do that, that'd be cool. All right, we got stuff to get to tonight. We're gonna have some fun. Whatever, it is what it is. It's the Amex. Siwoo is your winner. We're gonna talk about the Siwoo victory in the betting show. I don't want to get too much into that tonight, but yeah, we'll talk about it. I do want to throw this up there though, Pat, because Hayden Buckley, Hayden Buckley could have won it. Props to you. You talked about Hayden Buckley last week.
I did. He did not win.
But also props to me because I said I like Hayden Buckley, but is he ready to win? He's one of those I would like to see come down late on a Sunday, see it happen, see what goes down before I put my money on it. Now, I didn't play him in DraftKings. I wish I would have. I didn't bet on him. Glad I didn't. But, I think he actually held up pretty well, honestly. I mean, a couple of weird putts, kind of a weird chip or a fat shot at one point. I can't remember where it was, but I thought he honestly held up pretty well. Now, his golf swing, and I'd seen Hayden Buckley, but man, like having to watch it all weekend was very painful. I don't enjoy the man's golf swing whatsoever, but I was happy to see Siwoo get it done. I did want to play a quick clip, though. This is an 11-second clip of something that happened. I believe it was either Thursday or Friday with Hayden Buckley. And everybody turn your volume up because I want you to be able to hear. I want you to be able to hear what happens as Pat walks away. Pat, can you hear me, though? Because I want you to be able to hear this, too. Okay, Pat. Pat says he can still hear me. All right. So this happened. Hayden Buckley. Let me throw Pat out of here real quick. I think this is important. Everybody should pay attention. You ready?
Oh, Buckley drops it home for Eagle.
I pulled it. So baby. Like that?
He just said, I pulled it. You could see it in
it. So he says, I pulled it.
I know where this is going.
He pulled it into the hole. So he was likely aiming, I don't know, 20 feet right, maybe 30 feet right of that flag. He yanks it, and it goes in the hole. And do you know what happens? He gained like 1.8 strokes on the field on that hole, and his proximity just went through. I mean, just unbelievable proximity after that. It is an error in the stat that I think was brought to light, and I loved hearing him say he pulled it because we talk about a flaw in the proximity situation. And Hayden went out there and just said, yeah, that wasn't where I was aiming. In my mind, it was a bad shot. It was a bad swing because I didn't hit it where I was aiming. I didn't do what I was trying to do, but golf is like that, right? Now, it also doesn't mean strokes gained is perfect. So, but it does kind of remind you that golf is a game of misses, right? Like, and it's a game of managing those misses. And it's a game of like your deviation from your swing that week has to be so narrow for you to get it done. Hayden Buckley was obviously hitting it pretty good, but I just thought we had to bring that up, Pat. You definitely look less shiny. Good to see that now. You look less angelic.
Did you say how much did you say he pulled it?
I'm guessing he pulled it by 20, maybe 30 feet.
Okay, I thought you said like 20 or 30 yards. You
No,
posted something on Twitter or something. I was like 20 or 30 yards. Come on.
I didn't say 20 or 30 yards. You don't read. You don't pay attention.
Or
You just
20
saw
or
it.
30 feet. Like that's a lot for a tour player to pull
No,
it
it's not.
20
It
or
was
30
tucked
feet.
left. The flag was tucked left. Like 20 feet. That's nothing. That's nothing.
I could pull a shot. That I don't think you're very accurate there. I agree with your
My tweet
sentiments on
says
this.
probably 15 to 30 foot miss. That's a
Yeah,
range.
but how do you know
15 to
that? Like
30
5 feet to a tour player is a pull.
No, it's not. No, it's not. 5 feet?
Dude, those guys are so accurate. Do you think they just
2
like they're
yards? What? You think if they hit it 2 yards left? I mean, we're not talking about Hideki here. We're talking about
Well,
Hayden
think
Buckley.
about your trajectory 2 yards.
Shut
That's a
up.
lot.
Shut up. 2 yards to a tour play. If that were the case, they'd all be freaking holing out all the time. I cannot believe you just said that. By the way, I can't believe you haven't commented on my podcast juice tonight.
Yeah, why are you drinking Coors Light? What the hell?
Dude, I don't know. I just wanted a silver bullet. You know, sometimes I just wanted a silver
I
bullet.
love a good silver bullet.
I opened the fridge and it was talking to me. All
I
right,
don't mind your sentiments there though. I do think I always say proximity can make a difference depending on how you use it. You just got to use it in the right circumstances. But it's not a totally useless stat across the board at all times because I've heard you use it too. So anyway, go ahead.
This is true. All right, let's get into this, Pat. Let's talk about the Amex. Now, I did the I did the first look show, talked about the golf courses that we got going on. So if you need more information on that, you can go check out the beginning of that, or you can read like one of a billion articles that are out. So we're not going to get into that. We're going to have fun. We're going to talk about picks, and this is a course we're all pretty familiar with at the Amex. Love to see us, a stacked field though. I mean, we got a nice top end of this field, pretty deep. Starts off with John Rahm, Scotty Scheffler, Tony Finau, Cantlay, Xander's back, Sungjae, Willie Z, Tom Kim, Sam Burns, Brian Harmon, Si Woo, Cameron Young, and Aaron Wise are your 9K and above range. Interesting to see Xander Schauffele's back after withdrawing from the Century Tournament of Champions. Apparently had an X-ray done, showed no muscular or major damage or whatever, but just kind of had to do some rehab and rest. Apparently feels good enough to tee it up. I would hope and pray that before Thursday we hear more about how Xander's feeling, but he'd be one to keep an eye on. Obviously that's going to dictate his ownership. So I guess that's kind of the first question is, where do we think people are going to go in terms of ownership here? I think with this event, because everybody's guaranteed 54 holes, and the cuts after round 3, and then it's just one round difference if somebody doesn't make the cut. The studs and duds approach, stacking up top is going to be the popular play. You can take bigger risk, this week with the Amex. So, your popular plays are going to be John Rahm, Patrick Cantlay, I believe. And then I'm thinking M and Willie Z. And is Si Woo going to be popular, Pat? You think people are going to, former winner here, great record here, coming off the win, 9,200. Do you think people will go to Si Woo this week?
Well, we know people tend to just back off the most recent winner. But I still think he's going to be a little bit popular, history here, all that kind of stuff, playing well. I could see him popular, but I don't know if he'll go above 20% or anything. I think he gets in that 15 to 18% range.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see him in the 20% either. Yeah, he'll be one to watch. Anybody else you think I missed there? You think it's Rahm, Cantlay, Sungjae? And I'm kind of going Sungjae just based off his record here and how he's been playing other than that miscut last week. But I don't know.
You don't think Finau?
Well, I was thinking about Finau. I just wonder if I think people are going to love Cantlay so much and Rahm so much that maybe Finau gets passed up a little bit. I don't know. I could be wrong.
I don't know. I think there could be some chalk there. So,
yeah. I definitely think all these guys in the 10K, with the exception of maybe Xander, depending on
I agree.
how the injury goes, are going to get plenty of run. So, and I'll happily play. I mean, honestly, between Rahm, Scheffler, Finau, Cantlay, I'll happily play one or two of the lower owned of the bunch. I definitely feel like Cantlay checks all the boxes, plus the record here, and plus he's on my season long team in the Nut Hut, so I'm down for that. But really, I'll play whichever two are a little lower owned and go from there. There's been some carnage at this event in the past, similar to what we saw last week in the Sony. John Rahm famously called it a effing putting contest. I believe that was last year that he labeled it
Mhm.
the putting contest, and I think lending itself to some variance. I mean, since they reshuffled the courses that they play here at the MX, the worst winning score has been like 22 under, and you've had a ton of long shots win this thing. So when you've got 22 under as your worst score and you've got no weather whatsoever again projected this week, as far as when I looked earlier today, there's looks to be very little wind. They call this place the Dome sometimes, like it just feels just completely perfect all the time. Maybe a little cooler than normal, so the ball may not quite travel as far, which may help the longer hitters. But I mean, it's just not a tournament where everyone, all the big names show up and crush it. Rahm's won, but you got a lot of long shots. I mean, freaking Andrew Landry won this damn thing, coming off of like 5 missed cuts too. Hudson
Yeah.
Swafford last year,
Which was what was he 150 to 1?
250 to 1. I checked the betting
250 to
card.
1.
I got him at 250 to 1 on the betting card last year.
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah. I'm still amazed at how good this field is.
Yeah,
I just it's just incredible. But yeah, so we'll see what happens. It's just so weird. With you got all the AMs out there, you've got 3 golf courses. It's very difficult to handicap this one. I feel like this is one of those where I want to like maybe live bet on a Saturday night. DB.
Yeah, I highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. We'll talk more about that later. Okay, so who we playing outside of those top 4? Like, who's catching your eye? Where are we thinking we're gonna go?
Well, I like Scheffler this week. I'm going to go in on some Scheffler this week at 10-5. You look at his history here is pretty decent. He's played here 3 years, had a 3rd place finish back in 2020, missed a cut in 21, and then a top 25 last year. But Scheffler's been solid, man. I mean, you look at his last 3 events, all top 10 finishes. I think this is like a good fit for him when you think about playing with amateurs and all that kind of stuff. He's real laid back, doesn't seem to like a lot doesn't really bother him all that much. So I like Scheffler there at 10-5. In the middle, though, I'm going Willie Z. I wanted to see what Willie Z did in the Century. And I know that, he's coming off of an injury and all that kind of stuff. But I was pretty impressed with what he did at the Century. Just first tournament back, I think it's a perfect way to get back into it also. Like, you got 4 rounds for sure. You don't really have to worry about a whole lot of pressure and things like that. Yes, there's a lot of money involved. But I liked what I saw out of Willie Z. He finished T6 here last year. So at 9,600, I hope I get a little bit lower ownership on him as well as people kind of ease back into Willie Z. I do like him. And then finally, I'm going back to Sung Jae, right above him. Going back to Sung Jae Yim, has a fantastic history here. He's finished top 15 every single time he has played in this tournament, 9,800. So those are the 3 guys I'm kind of zeroing in on because I just don't really feel a lot of the lower 9K guys. Maybe Harman for cash. I think I could go Harman for cash with what he's done here. Just seems kind of.
I think in cash, I'm going to go ahead and get Cantlay because he's not that expensive. And with the 54 hole made cut, you can still cash in a 50-50 or a double up with 5 of 6 if you have the guy up top that's doing his thing. So I think cash, I'll go Cantlay. I'm with you on Willie Z. Like I'm ready to go ahead and play Willie Z. I like the par 5 ability here. I like the first time out last year, he finished 6th. I know you're going to roll your eyes here, but I do feel like it's somewhat of a boldish call considering his history here. But I'm going to play Aaron Wise. I've got I've got my guys. You know what I mean? Like I'm planting my flag on certain guys in 2023, whether it's season long, whether it's DFS, whether it's betting, prize picks. I'm planting a flag. And that means that I'm not going to like necessarily jump off after a bad week or a subpar week or we get to a tournament that doesn't seemingly fit him really well, because I truly believe that Aaron Wise is going to get to another level this season. And so I'm talking myself into that being the Amex, where his last 3 attempts have all been miscuts. And but what's interesting is it's really been the short game. I mean, it's really been the putter. In the last 2 years at the Amex, he's lost 7.4 strokes putting, which is stereotypical Aaron Wise. Okay, we all know that. But now, by the power of the broomstick, look at the trend in Aaron Wise's putting. Even just zoom out. Last 20 events, 0.08 strokes gained putting. Last 10, 2.5 strokes gained putting. Last 5, 3.9 strokes gained putting. I bet if you looked at the last 12 to maybe 20 rounds on the PGA Tour, Aaron Wise would be in the top part of putters. And that's been his bugaboo here. He's always gained strokes off with irons. I'm believing that Aaron can turn around, and I think people will be turned off because a middling finish at the Century and the piss poor course history. Did I persuade you just a little bit?
No, as a matter of fact,
No,
I feel like this is a teaching moment for you, DB, as a young man. As a young man. DB, I know that you're a good man. They say people like you, they live at the feet of the cross, I think is what they say.
At the feet. the foot.
The foot of the cross, the cloth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you've probably never been to a strip joint. But if you ever go to a strip joint, which I've been to on occasion.
You looked like you're in one just a minute.
I've been to on occasion.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's always one there. There's one there. And if you've ever heard of falling in love with a stripper, I fell in love with a stripper.
Yeah, I've heard that song.
Because that night, you had a good night. And you saw her out of the corner of your eye. She was walking over there. And you're like, that's the one. That's the one. But you know what, DB? It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen, okay? She's never coming home to you, okay? First off, you're too tipsy that night at the strip joint. You need to not fall in love with the stripper. You should just enjoy the time there, and then you go home. But Aaron Wise is the stripper that you have fallen in love with. And not only did you leave the strip joint and she didn't come home with you, she's never coming home with you, but you're still thinking about her. And it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. You need to get it out of your mind. Stop going to strip joints with Aaron Wise as the one you're chasing, because he's never going to let you catch him. So you just need to go ahead and quit it right now. Just quit it.
Kistler says from the foot of the cross to a strip club. That's an elite segue. I get it, man. I hear what you're saying. But I think he's gonna prove you wrong. And if you don't think I'm not gonna clip this when he does, in fact, I'm gonna make a note. I'm gonna make a note.
Okay, well, you make that note. I'm just saying, I fell in love with the stripper. Isn't that how that song goes?
Those are the words. I'm not really sure the melody is really on point, but we digress. I guess my guess is that the fade in this range is going to be agreed upon, and that would probably be, and I hate to do it because I like him, Sam Burns. Do you agree? Who's your fade?
I would say, yeah, he was a fade, but I think Xander, just until I know more about him. But yeah, he was the other one. Sam Burns.
What sucks is like Burns has done well here. A 6th and 18th, missed the cut in 2021, his last time out, but he's definitely had some strangely very, very bad off the tee iron weeks in his last 4 events. For starting off at the Century, where he nearly finished dead last.
That really, yeah. Now, you could get some really good ownership on Sam Burns. Will that tempt you?
Yeah.
Like if he's sitting there like at 6,
Yes.
7%.
Yes, because I am tempted by Sam Burns regardless of ownership. So yes, that will tempt me. Will it you? Or will it not you?
No, it will.
I mean, when he finished 6th here in 2020, he played the Sony before. He had missed his 3 previous cuts. Golly. In fact, his iron play was awful leading up to that. And then he gained 2.7 strokes with iron. I don't know, man. I don't know. Honestly, though, again, that may be. This is one of those tournaments we just have to keep reminding ourselves, like variance. Embrace the variance. 54 hole cut. Like just embrace it. So do what you want to do.
This is a tournament where formerly Chalk Bomb Ben would tell you he loves it. He loves the variance of having 3 courses like this. I think he had one of his biggest wins this week at the American Express because of all of that kind of stuff. There was a lot of carnage, a lot of miscuts. So if you somehow manage to just take a few risks, but like smart risk, and you don't get married to too many guys, and then you just like get several 6 of 6s through, I think you're going to have a good chance to win some serious cash this week.
Yeah, I agree. That's a good word. I also agree that if you like golf and you like coffee, you need to check out our friends at front9coffee.com. Video presented to you by our friends at front9coffee.com, where you can get some small batch, delicious artisan coffee made right here in Augusta, Georgia. It's beautiful stuff. It tastes delicious. You got my blend, you got Pat's blend. Mine is definitely a top seller at the moment. I'll throw it up on the screen so you can look at it. DB's Large Bucket of Nuts right now. It's a lovely hazelnut, kind of nutty blend. You can order it whole bean or ground. It'll ship straight to your door. And you can also get Pat's Bump and Run. It's a nice cup of Joe. And they'll ship anywhere in the U.S. They're gonna roast it right when you order it. So check out Front 9. That's the number 9 coffee.com. Promo code TJ10 gets you 10% off your entire order. I saw some people in the Nut Hut just this week ordering their first little batch of Front 9 coffee, and I'm excited about that. I thank you for that. If you want to support the Tour Junkies and you want to support another small business born and bred right here in Augusta, Georgia, then go to front9coffee.com and check them out. Thank you. All right, let's get to the 8K range. Talking the 8K range, I'm excited. I'm excited about this range. I think this is a good spot. I think there's some edge to be had here. I could see the 8K getting. It's one of those tournaments again where I think because everybody's going to be excited to do a studs and duds thing, that these guys will be talked about, but I bet they're rostered a little less than a lot of ownership projections have them, because at the end of the day, people want all those 9K guys, and they're just going to say, screw it, I'll just go with the low 7s and the 6K guys and be a risky biscuit and get weird at the 54 hole pro-am situation. So all that to say, I think there's some really interesting pivots here. Even guys I think could truly win in a field like this, even with the top tier field that we have sitting up at the top. I think the chalk, this is my prediction, Pat, you tell me, is going to be Cam Davis, Sahith, and I think it's going to be KH Lee. Who would you have said?
I would have said Cam Davis. I have a feeling Putnam might be a little bit chalky.
Putnam was one that I considered. But I think, don't you think at the end of the day, though, people are still like, Putnam is just not a sexy name to click, and he's between two sexy, pieces of bread right there. Cam Davis, Sahith, two big, sexy DFS faves, right? So, like, I just wonder if he'll actually get clicked.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like there's a lot they're going to bet on him. They may not play him in DFS, but I feel like there's a lot they're going to bet on him. But, yeah, I mean, I don't.
Did you see his number this morning?
I did not.
Okay, we'll talk about it.
I know what it is now, but I did not see it this morning. But yeah, this is a weird range for me. I just don't see a whole lot of chalk other than I think Davis is it. I'm just kind of surprised you said Sahith. I would fade. Actually, Sahith is my fade. So
why,
I think
though? He doesn't check boxes, but dang it, he never checks boxes, and he still plays great. His short game, I think, gets him by. I don't know. He just scrapes it together.
I mean, he was near the bottom of the field at the Century, just as far as his finish.
Yeah.
Like you said, he doesn't check any boxes. He
mean,
played here last year, had a T33, so that's not bad. I just don't want to play a chalky Sahith. I really don't.
He loves the wet. He's so pumped to be back on the Cali swing, the desert swing. It seems like he feels comfortable in desert golf, desert conditions, and that's really what we have here at PGA West. I think I'm buying, and I haven't been one that's bought Sahith every single week, like a lot of people. I have not, but I like it. I like Sahith.
Okay.
You know who I don't like, and I hope everybody plays him. I'm not playing Adam Hadwin.
No, he was kind of second. He was like,
Really?
yeah, I had him too. As
I
sort
thought
of,
you'd be all over him for the.
actually, look, wait,
Okay.
where did I find it?
This is terrible.
There he is. Look,
Yeah, I see it.
Hadwin, cross out Sahith.
Wow. Wow. Okay. So I mean, we're in agreement. I mean, for me, what it came down to was, yes, the record here is absolutely insane. But other than 2017, he's played the week before. When he's had his like really good finishes, he's played the Sony or the Century or both, and we haven't seen him. We haven't seen him since Houston in November, and he played well there. But this is it's a new day, so I think I hope people go to him, and I hope I'm right. But I think Hadwin's going to be my bold fade in this range because I do think he's going to garner some ownership. I don't know if he'll actually be as chalky as a guy like Cam Davis, maybe even not even KH Lee, but I think he's going to get some, and that'll be a flag I'll plant and just go ahead and say, yep, I think I'll pass. Did shoot a 59 here, or 58, or almost did, whatever it was.
Okay.
Are you okay?
Yeah. Are you okay?
Are you reading the chat?
No, I was just wondering if you're okay.
Oh yeah, I'm great.
Okay, let's talk about people we like in here, and I
Okay.
want to start with a guy that I kind of came on to late last week, and he could have really made me some money because I think I was surprised there seemed to be a lot less people playing him. But Taylor Montgomery here at 8,900. I love Taylor Montgomery. Now, he was around like 15% owned at the Sony. But if we're going to believe what John Rahm says, that this is a putting contest, then you want Taylor Montgomery on your team. You want him in DFS. The dude can putt. It's incredible. I mean, his putting stats are absolutely amazing. I mean, let's look at last week.
I mean, this dude has lost. Look at the Shriners in the Sony. He lost 9.5 shots on approach between those two events and finished 15th and 12th.
But look at his putting. I mean, gain 6 at the Sony, 1.5 at the RSM. He lost strokes at the Houston. But then let's look at this run. CJ Cup 4.8, Shriners 5.2, Sanderson 5.8, Fortinet finished third, 11.2. This dude can freaking putt. I don't care if his approach stats suck. I do not care. If this is a putting contest and we're to believe John Rahm, one of the best players in the world, thinks it's a putting contest, then Taylor Montgomery needs to be played. He needs to be somewhere in your player pool. I don't care. What do you want? If you want him to be 100%, if you want him to be 20%, I don't care. You need him in there. I like Taylor Montgomery a lot this week.
Plus, I mean, he's plays and based out of Vegas, very comfy in desert golf. Appears very comfy on the West Coast. 11th at the Farmers last year on some sort of exemption. Played well at the Fortinet. Played well at the Shriners in Vegas. I think he's hard to avoid, even as sad as those iron numbers are. And what's crazy is he's losing all those shots with his irons after gaining a bunch of shots off the tee. Like, you would think if you gain that many shots off the tee, you're in good positions to be able to, you know, hit good iron shots, and he just can't. But dang, dude, if he can break even with
Can you imagine if he
his
fixed
irons,
if he starts gaining shots on approach,
yeah.
he's gonna win every damn tournament.
I heard somebody say, I don't remember where I heard this or did I read it? I don't know. That his dad was a really good player, but his dad was a terrible putter, good ball striker, and wanted to make sure that when Taylor grew up that he wasn't a bad putter. So like he just drilled all these putting things into him, and so he's like that's one reason why he's like the stud putter. Anyway, yeah, I'm with you on Montgomery. Other than that, I mean, we'll just kind of see how the ownership stuff shakes out. I mean, I like a lot of guys in here. I like JT
Yeah.
Poston again this week. I like KH Lee again.
Do you like Wyndham Clark?
I don't. Clark
Why
can have
not?
one of the two I don't want. I mean, for one, I truly am gonna buy the trend that guys that have already played the Century or Sony, even if they haven't played it well, are better off. And so with so many good names in here that have played one of those two events or both, I'll just take my chances with those guys instead. So
Okay. All right.
Pat, again, another successful week in the Nut Hut. I'm sure it won't happen every single week, but it's happened the first 2 weeks of 2023, and I'm excited about it. We had a huge week. I just actually dropped a YouTube video. So if you can watch on YouTube, I dropped a 12-minute YouTube video showing you what you get access to with a premium membership in the Nut Hut. So it walks through all the key channels, all the things you need to know, and I just show you what you're getting if you're a premium member, what you're missing if you're not a paid member. You can join with the link below in the description of the YouTube video or in the podcast if you're listening on audio. But the Nut Hut was hopping this week. Last week you had Pat's 15x prize picks drop that was pretty sick. And then, of course, Morikawa at 20-1, and it should have hit. This week, I feel like, the hotness kind of moved around. Me and Joe crushed it. Tour picks. Joe Idoni crushed it in the head-to-head market. He went 4-0 in his exclusive head-to-head picks. I went 3-1 in mine. We had some successful top 40 and top 20 picks. And then AC and Samson 24, our boy Adam, just showed out again with some good showdown stuff. Adam won a ton of money in showdown. Bunch of people tailed the Si Woo outright at plus 850. More success in prize picks, mainly in rounds like 2 and 3. But get in the Nut Hut. The community is booming right now. We've made a lot of great changes. So if you got in the past and you got out because you didn't like something, chances are we've changed it. All right. So hop in there. If you're a member, you get 20% off all TJ merch, including this awesome Siwoo Kim shirt, which we sold a few of last night after he brought it home. So hop in there and take advantage of that. And you got your lunchtime Wednesday chats with me exclusively for members of the Nut Hut, and the Wednesday night live chats with me and Pat typically. But this week, it's going to be the Pat Perry Show on Wednesday night. I will be traveling out of pocket as of Wednesday afternoon. My lovely, beautiful wife, Kristen, is turning 40 on Thursday. I can't believe it.
4-0.
She doesn't look a day over 28, and I couldn't be more happy that I get to spend a nice weekend with her. We're going to go to Banff, Canada, which we got a lot of Canadians that follow us. Yeah. And I'm getting all kinds
Is that how you say it? Banff?
Banff. I think it's Banff.
Is it not a Banff?
No, what? Don't do that. You make us.
Well, I mean, how do you think Canadians say it? I want to know how Canadians say it.
Look bad. I think they probably say it like Banff. Banff.
Banff?
Are you saying Banff? Why are you saying it with a lisp? Huh?
No, Banff. I didn't say it with a lisp.
Oh, okay. It's a Banff. Banff.
I'm just asking how they say it. Like,
I don't know how they say it. I mean, we got 1 million Canadians in the Nut Hut. Ask one of them. Anyway, I won't be there on the Wednesday night live chat. Pat will be. I think Showdown Kingpin Adam is going to join for a little bit. Possibly Joe Idoni of Tour Picks. He'll be doing the live chat. All that. If you're an exclusive member of the Nut Hut, premium member of the Nut Hut, hop in there and get it done. All right, Pat, let's get to the 7K range. Let's talk it up. Here's who I think is going to be the chalk. And I don't think I was looking at the 7K range. I just feel like similar maybe to last week. It feels like there's not really another like standout guy. You know, like it feels like they're all kind of similar, which I like. It probably means that, ownership could be a little more spread out. There's a few names in here I'm excited to see that we haven't seen yet in 2023.
Hmm.
But I think if there's any chalk, it's probably going to go to Ben Griffin because he continues to just be cheap and play his butt off. Davis Riley, because Davis Riley is a DFS darling that people love and are excited about. And I'm curious your thoughts, not only on those two, but on this one, because it's one we have not seen in 2023. But man, he had a heck of a fall. And you and I have talked about him a lot. Patrick Rogers. What do
Yes,
you think about this?
I think Patrick Rogers is going to be chalky.
Mm.
You look at his fall, you look at the stats, all of it kind of lines up for him to be chalky. And I see how you could play him. There's actually a part of me that because of his history here makes me want to back off. But man, the dude just, you look
Oh,
at this.
I'll tell you what should make you want to back off. A chalky Patrick Rogers.
Well,
If
I would,
he's chalky, he is an auto fade, no questions
I,
asked.
I agree with that. But you just look at his fall, man.
I know
T3
the
in
fall was
Bermuda.
great. The fall was great.
I mean, 3 top 20 finishes with a top 10 at the RSM that he could have won. He really could have easily won the RSM, but he pulled a Patrick Rogers and didn't win.
Yeah.
So I do think he's going to be chalky. I agree.
Anybody else?
I
What do you
love
think
this
of Riley and
range.
Ben Griffin?
I think Griffin could be chalky, but do you think he's well known enough to be chalky yet?
Yeah, I think
Man,
he is.
his form though is so good.
So good.
Why
And
do you think if you think Ben Griffin is going to be chalky, why would Ben Taylor not be chalky with his form and what he
it's
did last
good.
week at T4, 7,000?
Yeah, but I think Griffin. I mean, hadn't Griffin had a couple more events that it's been a little more consistent. I know Ben Taylor had a couple good finishes in the
I
fall
mean, I
too.
think if you're comparing them both, it's very hard to. I mean, if you're comparing their last 3 events, Taylor's is better. But then if you go back 5 events, you could probably say that Griffin's is a little better on average. But I mean,
Yeah,
Taylor, his last 3 events is 3rd, 21st, and T4 last week.
yeah, I see you there. I don't know. I mean, it could. I mean, could be both. I just feel like Griffin may be the more known commodity at the moment. First of all, the Tour Junkies interviewed him, so word gets out. He's a likable kid. Course records, Sea Island Mafia holder, member. Went viral in the summer for holing out for 58. Like, I don't know, probably just a little bit more known than Ben Taylor. But yeah, I mean, it could be both. In cash, this is probably going to surprise you, but I mean, in cash, I think actually one of them is Ben Griffin. You could go Ben Griffin. I really, I'm a fan. I'm a fan. I like me some David Lipsky. I'm gonna go with Lipsky at 7.
Oh.
I would play Lipsky at 7,300 in cash, and I feel good about it. I think Lipsky could win this thing. Like, I'm looking at Lipsky. I talked about him this morning in the first look show. His outright numbers. He finished 14th here last year in his only start, and he's rolling right now. So, I mean,
I feel like David Lipsky was missed last week, and he kept showing up. He kept showing up, and then I just kept like turning my eye.
Turning
And
your
you know
eye.
what?
Just one eye?
Yeah, one eye.
Okay. Hey,
And-
will you talk about who you want to play and who you want to fade while I go get another beer?
Yeah. All right. I do like Lipsky, so I don't mind him. Up at the top, though, let's move up here. Let's move up to the top. I'm going to play Ricky Fowler. I am going to play Ricky Fowler unless he has withdrawn. As long as he hasn't withdrawn. I'm going to take Ricky Fowler. I do like him at 7,800. Look, I know we haven't seen him since the fall, but the guy's been, his game's coming around. I like the coaching that he's getting now with Butch Harmon. So I'm a big fan here. I think I'm going to play Ricky Fowler. He's going to be low owned. I know he gets a little bit of a bump because everybody knows Ricky Fowler, but I don't care. I like Davis Riley also up here at 7,700. But where I really love is, just a few guys here is right in the middle. Thomas Dietrich coming off the Corn Ferry, whatever else. he came through the Corn Ferry Tour, but this guy like cut his teeth really on the European Tour. Fantastic player. You look at it across the board with the stats for Thomas Dietrich. You're going to have to score a lot here. He's 34th in opportunities gained. He's 12th in birdie or better percentage. He's 27th in par 5 scoring. They got a lot of par 5s that they can score on this week. And he's 27th in putting. So he's a great putter. Thomas Dietrich at 7,600, I think, is a great play. Other than that, dropping down a little bit, I mentioned Ben Taylor. He's another one that I just don't think you can jump off of. I mean, just too hot right now. So I'm going to take Ben Taylor. And then Ben Griffin was the other one there at 7,200. So that is those are my favorite plays here in the 7K range. But this is a good range. This is the range where people are going to win this week. We talked about how, you look at, the variance and everything that's involved this week. And I know you can always probably say, well, the 7K range is where people can win. But this week, more than anything, there are so many guys here. You get guys like Dean Burmester, that are a lot of guys that didn't want to go to Hawaii because for whatever reason, you didn't want to go to Hawaii. I don't know why that is. But they're now showing up here in California. They're ready to play. I know they're kind of probably shaking some rust off, but still, there's a lot of guys in here that I think are going to come out firing. And I'm looking forward to seeing what some of these 7K guys do this week.
Yeah. So I'll add to it. I mean, I like Griffin. I like Lipsky, who I talked about. I'm going to go to our boy Grayson Sick, who's just kind of quietly been doing his thing, making cuts, finishing nice. Played decent here last year, I believe, in his only attempt. What did he do here last year? I think it was 25th last year at the MX. Yeah, 25th. I mean, I think Sig's playing nice right now. I think he had a kind of a rough day yesterday at the Sony. I don't know. He lost strokes putting for the first time since the Wyndham in August at the Sony Open last week. But, hitting it nice, making cuts, doing his thing, and he'll be, he's never all that popular. So I kind of like Sig. I'm excited to maybe play Ricky. Did you say Ricky?
Yes, I did.
You did.
Ricky was the first name I said as you stepped away.
What's weird is I don't want to bet him outright necessarily, but I kind of like him in DFS. We'll see how it shakes out. I also don't mind skipping him if everybody's jumping on, if everybody's excited to play Ricky.
I just don't see that happening.
Really? I think everybody's excited about the new coaching change and they're just ready to pull the trigger on Ricky. That's kind of the vibe I get, but I could be wrong. I'll tell you who I'm going back to, who burned some folks, who burned about 13% of lineups last week. I'm going back to Alex Smalley. I think this is an interesting spot to jump back on him. Gain strokes still on approach. Just had kind of a lackluster week off the tee. It was his first event since the RSM. Didn't putt it all that great, but finished 25th here last year. I think Alex Smalley, if he gets a little bit, overlooked or passed by because of last week and burning some folks, I don't mind Alex Smalley. So those are a few names that I think could be a little under the radar, possibly. There's a lot of names in here I like. Obviously, we'll talk a lot more about them as things develop, as ownership takes shape. Wednesday lunch live chat potentially. Actually, this week it might be a brunch chat because I got to get to the airport. I'm sure Pat will be talking about a bunch of them. I don't know if you mentioned your fade, but my fade in this range, and it's a guy that I like, and it's a guy who's already been off to a decent start for this year, and it's a guy who the last 2 years at the Amex has finished 21st and 22nd. But it's Luke List. I'm out on Luke. I'm not going to do the Luke thing here. I'm going to wait till maybe Torrey to play him again. 11th at the Century, still trying to figure out the putting situation. Other than those 2 good finishes at the Amex, it's been pretty rough the previous few years. So I'm out on Luke List. That is it for me in the 7K. Do you have anything else?
No, I'm just out on the old guys here. I'm out on Rose and Day.
Okay.
So.
Going to be colder too, so that might be a thing for Day. That might be a thing. Yeah. All right, let's get to the 6K range. We're going to do our 6K draft. We're going to do the draft again. We're going to draft a team in the 6K range, just 6K plays only on DraftKings. See what's up. We'll go try to agree on the picks here. We won't put a timer on it, Pat, like we used to do with the 2-minute men. But let's try to agree or talk each other into, let's do a little give and take and see if we can put together our favorite 6K plays in this range and kind of make the selections from there. Before we do that, I do want to remind everybody the Listener League is now up and running on Nitery. It's a new game, fun game. You got to pick your golfers in each tier. The first official week back started last week. Shout out to Jason Valley, my boy, Team DB guy, for taking down the first ever Nitery contest in the Listener League, earning himself a spot into the finals this summer for a chance to earn a trip to come to either Augusta or Savannah, play some golf with me and Pat, have a weekend, have some food, have some drinks, have some fun, have some laughs, get to see Pat in all his glory. Shout out to Jason for getting it done. Make sure you get in the Nitery contest. It is posted exclusively in the Nut Hut. You have to be a member of the Nut Hut to get it. But it's free to enter once you're in, free to enter the Nitery contest, and it's a good time. So shout out to that, and we'll have that posted if it's not already. So make sure you get in there. For the YouTubes, here's the question, the comment of the night, okay? Hit the like button if you're in here. Subscribe to the channel if you've not already so you know when we go live. We go live every week, multiple times a week, so you need to subscribe. There's a ton of golf instructors on social media, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Snap and Chat, whatever. There's tons of young instructors. Give me one that you like, and I would prefer it to be one who maybe is a little lesser known. And again, I also prefer it to be someone like kind of youngish. And I'm being ageist here. I know Pat's thinking that. I'm being ageist.
Yes, you are.
But I'm talking about like, and when I say young, I mean, I'm saying like 30 and under, okay? Give me a young social media kind of golf instructor that you like. Drop their tag, their handle here in the YouTube comment. That would help us. I'm working on a little something. I think it could be cool. So drop that in the YouTube comments. All right, let's get to the 6K draft, Pat. You want first pick or you want me to go first? You choose.
I want first pick.
Okay, take it.
All right, I'm going to start at 6,600. Aaron Baddeley. Bads. Bads has been playing pretty good recently, man. Playing well. Putting well. 24th in the field. Great.
He always plays well.
Yeah. But you look at top 10 last week, T39 at the RSM Classic, had a top 6 back at Bermuda, back in the fall. I like Bads. I think we start with him at 6,600.
His name came up in the First Look show this week or earlier today. So I will agree with you on Bads. I will not try to veto that. So I'll go with Bads. I like it. 6,600. Let's go. I am gonna go with. I'm gonna give. Let me pull up some intel on this kid. I'm gonna go with a Korn Ferry Tour grad, a rookie on the PGA Tour. That I don't know that we've ever really talked about him very much on this show, Pat. I can't. If we have, I don't think it's been a lot. So I think people need to know this guy. I think people need to know the name. I think they need to know the name Kevin Yu from China, played at Arizona State. Desert guy, 6 top 25s, 3 top 10s, and 2 runner-ups on the Korn Ferry Tour last year. Here's what I love about him for this place. This is not necessarily a precision course like Waialae is. Like, you can still hit it far out here and take advantage of things. The fairways aren't super tight and narrow. There's just, if you're too wayward, you can really be screwed. But I think Tony Finau even quoted as saying, like, he thinks that this is a course better suited for bombers. Well, Kevin Yu has both the distance and the accuracy. When you look at the bigger, sample size of his Korn Ferry Tour year, he finished 17th in distance and 20th in driving accuracy. He hits it a mile, hits it pretty straight, tends to find his golf ball, which is important. And then the putting and scrambling is not bad at all. Top 50 in both of those categories on the Korn Ferry Tour, 15th in birdie or better percentage, which is obviously going to be key this week. The weakness tends to be the iron play. He was only 73rd in greens and regulation rank. But Kevin Yu, let's take a look, man. He's been playing. Where is he? Doesn't go by Kevin Yu here, huh? He goes by Chin An Yu. My bad. 21st at the Sony, gain strokes off the tee, gain strokes putting is exactly what I'm talking about. 3rd at the Bermuda, 19th at the Sanderson Farms. Like, I think he's got real upside, and I like the value at Kevin Yu. So I'll take him.
Okay.
So that puts us with Kev. That's 6,900. We got you and Badley.
Okay. Can I interest you in any Sam Ryder at 6,800?
Yes.
I mean,
I like
21st in approach. He's 33rd in putting in this field. I think Sam Ryder.
Cut here in a long time too, right? Hadn't he made a bunch of cuts in a row here?
He has. Actually, he's made the cut every single time he's played here since 2018. So Sam Ryder at 6,800, I think, is a pretty good play there.
Okay. I like. I think I was hesitant to play him last week, and I wish I would have played more of him because he ended up doing okay. He ended up scoring all right, 6,900. I'm going with another Korn Ferry Tour grad, a PGA Tour rookie, who really hasn't done much outside of the Fortinet in his first event, but I think it's coming. Just need the putter to be okay. I'm going to say Davis Thompson. I'm going to throw UGA Bulldog Davis Thompson in here.
Okay, I don't mind it.
You like it?
Yeah, I can handle that.
Okay.
All right. Here's a guy that is a DFS darling for me. I don't know about anybody else, but for me, Doug Gim is at 6,800.
I don't want Doug Gim.
Come on, let's go with Doug Gim. Why not? Why not?
Because he's not been good. He's not been good at all.
He's been good here, though. Has a 5th place finish. 5th place finish here.
Oh, dude, he's been bad. His last.
So you're vetoing him now. His stats suck. Yes, but come on, Doug comes around. He comes around in the winter months in California.
He's missed 5 of his last 7 cuts.
All right, if you're gonna veto that, fine.
I don't want Doug Gim. I'm sorry, I don't. The last time he played good here was 2 years ago. 2 years ago, and he feels like a different player right now. He's been bad.
All right, then how about this?
I promise I won't veto this one. I won't veto 2 in a row.
I could probably make you veto 2 in a row. I could probably figure that out. You know who I want to take a flyer on? Because I like this guy, and I think he's going to have a breakout season. You were on the text with me earlier this tonight. Justin Lauer, 6,800.
I can get down with that. I can get down with Lauer.
Okay.
Good putter. Yeah, I like Lauer. We did get a little intel on him earlier. All right, so we got one left. I'm gonna maybe surprise some folks here with this one. Because I don't know that we really talk about him a lot either. And he is at 6,500. And he just every now and then, like, he'll just throw up a decent finish. But you can veto if you feel like it. I'm gonna go Ben Martin. 32nd last week at the Sony, gained 7.1 strokes on approach, 21st at the RSM Classic to finish the fall season. He's played here 7 times. He's made 4 of 7 cuts. No really solid finishes. 29th place finish and a 34th, his 2 best finishes. But I don't know. I just have a feeling. 7 strokes gained on approach last week, like first event back. Like that means, to me, that tells me dude's been working. Like he's been doing something, you know? 65 hunch. You like it?
I'm all right with Ben Martin. I could go
there. We go. Those are the 6K picks. Aaron Badley, Kevin Yu, Davis Thompson, Sam Ryder, Justin Lauer, and Ben Martin. And that is it for the 6K range. Now we're going to have some fun, Pat. You ready? Don't go anywhere. If you're watching live, let's have a little fun. I got a couple of extra little things I need to talk about. One of them I need a rant about. But we'll start with the easy, the funny thing, the thing that I just think not enough people are talking about. I don't have a great name for this segment other than just things to know that happened in golf this past week. And I think this did not get talked about enough at all. Pat, when you and I first started doing this in 2015, there was a guy who was in a lot of PGA Tour events. And he was especially good at certain golf courses. He wasn't real flashy, but he was a player. And now, like a lot of players, we've seen him kind of possibly hang it up. Hang up the cleats, trade it in for some powder on his face, maybe a nice jacket, and he's in front of the lights, a lot like you are tonight.
Mm.
And
Yes,
not enough people
very
are
little.
talking about freaking Johnson Wagner and the incredible look that Johnson Wagner is rocking on the Golf Channel right now. Like, I realize that he's always had the mustache, or he's had it for a long time. But, dude, when you take the hat off and you put the suit on, and he goes from, like, being the guy on the golf course with the collared shirt and the hat, and you put him behind the booth, does he not look like a modern-day Ron Burgundy? Look at that picture.
He does.
He looks amazing. I honestly, I didn't even listen to him.
Has he done a good job?
I don't know. He could have been terrible. All I did was I saw segments on Twitter. I don't know, but I just couldn't get over how he looks. Look at him. Look at him with was it Cara Banks? Look at his. This is Ron Burgundy on the Golf Channel.
Good
Doesn't
for
he look
him.
great?
I did not know this was happening. I'm obviously not watching enough Golf Channel, but good Lord.
Well, unfortunately for Johnson, nobody's watching the Golf Channel. But
Yeah.
I just saw it on Twitter. I just think like we gotta give some props to Johnson Wagner for pulling this off and looking like he's ready to pull out a Yaz flute after work.
I mean, he has a name for
he does
many things. Many things.
He does. I just don't think enough people are talking about it, and I think they should. All right, we're gonna end the show on this. This pisses me off, man. Like I okay, well, I'll just play the video. I guess I'll play the video. Yeah, well, I'll just play the video. Here we go.
Oh, Buckley drops it home.
Wait a minute.
You already played that video.
Wrong video. Hang on. That also pisses me off, the Hayden Buckley thing. Here we go. All right, here's the video.
Oh, he may have needed it. Jace Walker with the save.
I mean, that was pretty good.
What the crap? Like, when I saw this, what?
What the hell was that?
I thought we lost connection.
I've never even seen that before. What the hell? What was that Caddy doing?
You didn't see
Why
that?
would he allow himself?
You didn't see that this week? Okay,
No.
for those of you listening on podcast, Mackenzie Hughes, this was on like Thursday or Friday. Mackenzie Hughes hits his golf ball next to the water, and he's standing on the water's edge on like these bricks or something, or whatever.
It's probably 2 feet deep in that water.
And his caddy is standing in front of him as he's preparing to hit the shot on bended knee like he's going to propose, so that as soon as Mackenzie finishes his follow-through and makes contact, he can grab him in the event he were to lose his balance and fall into the water. And
if I were that caddy, I would have been like, what the beep? Are you kidding me? I would not do that for him. I would be like, you need to man up and hit this damn shot. And if you fall in a foot and a half of water with a turtle down there, maybe, like, what's he scared of? Ain't no alligators in Hawaii.
To me, it's not even about that. It's not even about that. It's not even about that, though. These guys are professional athletes. I realize it's golf. He's a professional athlete. I said the same thing when Jordan Spieth hit his ball off the cliff, and the announcers were like, the 65, 70-year-old announcers, that
was at least from an optics standpoint, like, looked like a little bit daring.
How many times have you ever made a golf swing? Hold on. How many times have you ever done this and then been like, whoa, and then you fall over?
No, I've never. Well, I mean, I make some off balance swings, but I don't feel like I'm going to fall off the cliff.
You're not even an athlete.
What are you talking about? Shut up. I'm definitely an athlete, but I'm not. I'm more of an athlete than Mackenzie Hughes is, apparently.
Okay, but see, this is what I think happened. I don't think this is Mackenzie's fault. I actually don't think Mackenzie Hughes said, "Hey, dude, get down on one knee like you're going to service me here."
You
And as
think
soon as
that
I'm
Caddy's being like Mr. like, I'm going to
That's
do
what
whatever I can for my player.
Yeah, that's what I think happened. I think he was like, "Oh, Mackenzie, let me get right here so that, just in case I don't want you to fall in the water. I got you, bro." Like, I think it was one of those things because I
Can you
can't
play it
imagine.
again so I can see this one more time?
Yeah, and everybody watch. Just don't watch the caddy because I let it happen twice. The first time, don't watch the caddy. Only watch Mackenzie's feet and tell me this man just recently got into the gym routine. We learned about this over the fall. Remember, he started doing all the speed training and going to the gym regularly, lost some weight, he's gotten stronger. And we're worried about this. And watch his feet. He's nowhere close to having an issue. Here we go.
Oh, he may have needed it. Jace Walker with the save.
I mean, that was pretty good.
Can we can we talk about the announcer?
I know the announcer's like,
He may have needed a save. He may have needed that save. Oh my God. He
It's
could
the
have fallen
dumbest.
into the 1.5 foot water and the snapping turtle would have gotten him. God, this thing that drives me. I'm so mad at this.
I know, me too. I'm glad you're outraged. I'm glad we're both outraged. It's just the dumbest thing. The guys are athletes. God, it drove me nuts. It drove me nuts. It was.
I wish we were broadcasting this and you and I were like watching it as it happened because it would have been totally different than the announcer that was really impressed.
Yeah, it would have been like, what the is happening? Like Mackenzie Hughes, like sack up and tell. I'd have been like, dude, get off your knee and stand over there. Like, don't come anywhere near me. Stand over there. If it was like, I don't know, like who's like the most out of shape golfer on the PGA Tour right now? First name that comes to your mind. How come we can't think of anybody? Man, times have changed, It's
Tim Herron.
He's not. I mean, he's not even on the PGA
He doesn't
Tour.
count. I'm just kidding. I don't know. There's a lot of in shape golfers, which is a good thing for.
And Mackenzie Hughes is one of them. He's more in shape now than he's ever been. He told us that. Who's an out of shape golfer? Why can we not think about this? Put in the chat. Who do you think's the most out of shape golfer? Who's out of shape? John Daly? I can't think of anybody that's really relevant on the PGA Tour. Alan said Carl Pedersen. Carl Pedersen hasn't played on the PGA Tour in 4 years, Alan.
Yeah, we can't say him.
I feel like there's a couple of guys that are skinny fat and have man boobs, but they're not terribly out of shape. Anyway, this is just ridiculous. I would be if I were Mac Hughes, I'm at the tour's data lake asking this video to be scrubbed from the record. Shane Lowry, there you go. Charlie's got it. Shane Lowry, Shane Lowry wouldn't have fallen in this water. Nobody on tour would have fallen in this water. Can you imagine Gary Player sitting at home watching this, going, "Oh, what the?" Oh. But Mac Hughes clearly doesn't have his core strength.
See, I agree. I think this is the caddy's fault. I think this is a pure instance of the caddy being
a tryhard,
a tryhard, way too eager to try to do whatever he can for his player. I'd probably fire him if he was my caddy and he acted like that during the. I would have fired him right there. I would have grabbed my bag and said, "You know what? I'm an athlete. I'm a golfer. I was not going to fall in that water. I don't know why you had to present yourself in that way to me. Throw the bag down, go off this golf course. I'm taking the bag home, and we'll shoot a 65."
Yeah, well, yeah. You on the front nine, yes, you might, but not.
No, I meant I'm
if you were
pretending to be somebody else.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, Pat, I think you should do a YouTube video or a TikTok video. You should go to the landings and find a place where you're on the ledge and try to mimic the Mackenzie Hughes distant, be as on the ledge as Mackenzie and try to hit the little wedge shot that he tried to hit and prove to the people that A, you're an athlete, and B, this was completely unnecessary.
Yeah, I can do this.
Okay. All right, you heard it here first, folks. So we recorded that. Pat said he could do it, so we're going to see it. I can't wait for it. Content from Pat on social is always good. Thank you for watching. Make your screens be green. We got tons of content coming your way, including me burping because all this Coors Light I've had. 2 emails dropping this week. We got the Sleepers video dropping on Tuesday and chat on Wednesday night. All right, let's have a great week. Make your screens be green.